welcome to the Anker SoundCore review. Now this product first came out a couple months ago. It's brand new, it came out this year. It boasts 24-hour battery life, which under light use for me lasts just about a week, which is quite excellent. It has two speaker drivers. It has one here, over here, and then pending apparently, spiral bass port. Now, this thing has astounded me with its battery life. Let me tell you, it has great battery life. As for its sound, it has somewhat neutral, slight boost in the highs, which kind of annoys me. Even with the bass port, you can feel the air coming out of the little spiral thing right here. It's kind of a cool thing. However, in my honest opinion, it's not enough bass to satisfy me. You see, I like electronic music, and I demand lots of bass. And coming from a subwoofer that I have personally, it's not quite the amount of bass I was looking for, but hey, it's portable, so it'll do for now. I have heard there are speakers with better bass. I'll be looking into them later. But for now, we have the good old Anker SoundCore. Now, for testing purposes, I'm going to use this, because my personal phone has lots of EQ, Viper for Android, and a bunch of other sound mods integrated to the system that I can't really turn off because I'm a dodo. So that's why I'm going to use this for testing, because I can get nice flat, and we can test out EQs, which, by the way, if you like electronic music and like lots of bass, and are treble sensitive, like I am, you're going to want the EQ of this thing, because the treble can get a little bit silbit. So, starting off, we're going to use Cut and Run by the good old Kevin MacLeod. Is at max volume. If we go up here, you can feel the bass coming out. And it's a pretty decent speaker, oh no. Just doesn't have enough bass extension, it goes deep down. It has the punch, just not the extension. As you can see, this is completely flat, and that treble is just a little bit too boosted for me. So those highs, a little bit boosted even on neutral on the old iPod over here. Let's try a different song. Skip to the climax of it. That was Furious Freak, also by Kevin MacLeod. Up next we have Danger Storm. This one really goes deep down low. You really feel the air coming out of it. Up next we have Special Harvest. Now this song has a really nice droning bass beat to it, which the Anker SoundCore can barely get to. You can hear the actual bass port like port chuffing. Which by which is that sound you hear like, that's port chuffing. Happens in all things with ports, especially this one. Those extra sounds, that's the port. That's the distortion. It means it can't reach all the way deep down. It reached the limits of its bass. So yeah, Anker SoundCore. At flat neutral settings on the old iPod, it just doesn't have enough extension to do the special Harvest song by Kevin MacLeod justice. Like, just barely gets it, it's just like port shuffling. So, what we can do, what I personally recommend if you have a speaker, is if you have EQ, what I recommend you do, is whatever EQ you have, generally, they have EQs like acoustic, bass, boost, and all that stuff. Pick up. There you go. Yeah, generally you have like bass, boost, acoustic, and all that stuff. What I recommend is that you either use deep, which boosts the bass and lowers the treble a bit, or small speaker. Surprisingly, small speaker actually does something. So yeah, small speaker, that's a really big bass boost. I'm not a fan of it, because it really kind of overpowers the old Anker over here. But I recommend using deep. It lowers the treble just a smidge, just so the Anker doesn't actually boost it too much, and ups the bass a bit. So, now we got deep. We're gonna redo a couple of those songs. Oh. Go back to old Kevin MacLeod over here. Let's do Cut and Run again. As you can hear, the treble's a little bit cut off and the bass is a little bit boosted up. Alright, time for a bit of Furious Freak. Skipping around the 40-second mark. As you can hear, the deep EQ really cut off that really high trebles a little bit slower than before. Now we're doing Special Harvest, the real test. Which, seeing as it was port shuffling already, this is not helping it, but just do it again. So even with the deep EQ, just barely cannot reach deep down below, and that really high like zzz, like siren song, still a little bit screechy and still, but it's fun. Now, here's the thing: since I really do want bass out of this little thing for the time being, I have found a secret. You see, since it has no backing, and all the sound coming out is from the front, I discovered if you put it inside a cabinet or an enclosed space, that'll take the sound and amplify it. It actually increases the bass quite a bit, which is interesting. So we're going to do a test inside a cabinet. So here we have the cabinet, and put the speaker inside of here using the old cable over here, and we'll test Bluetooth with it later. But for now, inside the cabinet, here's the bass with Cut and Run. It does make it a bit boomy, but it also increases the bass. And depending what box or enclosure you use, it'll sound a little bit different. Inside my backpack, inside little like pocket inside your backpacks, it actually makes it sound a little bit better because it muffles all the treble, well most of the treble, and mostly pumps out bass. So whatever you want. Here we have Dangerous Storm. Next up we have Special Harvest. And finally, we have Furious Freak. Put up to the 40-second mark. So this time you can get a little bit of the bass that's coming out of it. A little drum. Alright. After doing all of our neutral testing and EQ of deep with the old iPod over here, it's time to use the Bluetooth. Alrighty then, we're going to do a Bluetooth test. Now, when it's unconnected or not paired to anything, it'll have a blue blinking dot. When you turn Bluetooth on, it'll show up as Anker SoundCore and make that sound. And there you go, it's connected. Now when it's at full volume, use the volume buttons up here. So you control the volume on the speaker itself, and when you're at full volume it makes that sound. And if you're on iOS, it syncs up with your system, but if you're on Android, you have different volume controls. So now it's connected, it's at full volume. I'm going to head on over to, well, first off, to my Viper settings. I have it on with just the deep preset and the Sony Exion Mega Bass thingy, IRS. So we're going to test a few songs. So Bluetooth is similar to how the wired was. We're just going to put on Dangerous Storm. See, this is how it sounds like on my phone, because I have all my EQs. Next up, we're going to use Furious Freak. Skip to the 40-second mark. That's roughly how it sounds like on my thing. The Anker Amazon page claims it has 66 feet of range. I have an old S2 and doesn't have Bluetooth 4.0 capabilities. Only test I can do is an iPhone 6s, and I can connect the Anker to the front porch of my house and have the phone go all the way to the back of the house, and it works fine. It does a few hiccups as it moves around the house as it goes to different walls, but I can say that range is pretty impressive. Another thing of note is that you can have the phone connected and via Bluetooth and also use the auxiliary in at the same time. Now how it works is when you plug the auxiliary in and nothing's playing on the old Bluetooth, it will take precedent on this, but as soon as you start playing on Bluetooth, it'll take over from the auxiliary and override it. And before we wrap things up, I really should show you the thing itself. So, what we're going to do is get some light. Here we have the Bluetooth button, so if anything's connected to it, you just press that button and it'll force anything connected to it off. The volume buttons, the play button, if you double click it, it'll skip to the next track. There's volume down button, and then you press another power button to turn it on or off. And that's blue indication LED. It turns red when it's low power. As you can probably see there, you see the speaker grill. It's made of some sort of, I think it's metal. I don't know. You can see the drivers in there. You can almost see the old spiral board. On the bottom, you have 4 little feet. Back says Anker. Sides, it charges via micro USB. It has a microphone for when you want to call. It's pretty okay mic. It has a charging indicator and auxiliary in. On the side has nothing. Unlike most Bluetooth speakers seen out and about, it doesn't rattle off of anything, which is also a nice feature because, well, it doesn't have enough bass to actually rattle itself off. It also contains itself pretty well. It also is pretty heavy. Has a nice little plastic. And yeah, the little not rattling off anything, even with little tiny little feet like these, it's a pretty nice feature. You can set it on top of, like, I don't know, something precarious and it'll not rattle off. So it's a pretty safe little thing. Pretty sturdy, nice and heavy. There you go. Anker SoundCore. Pretty decent Bluetooth speaker. All around, pretty good. $35. And we'll see you later.